I'm going to make a little video on processing and cleaning this wax. I don't know how well this is going to work. I'm going to do it. I'm going to try to make it simple for people who only have a little bit of wax. Like, this is some wax cappings and stuff that was out of a bucket. I scraped some top bars off and got some chunks of wax on them, off of them. There's some old wax from that I found in a bucket. You know, just burr comb, stuff like that, random wax. It's pretty dirty. You can see it's, you know, got quite a bit of debris in it, quite a bit of junk. I'm gonna try something. I'm going to take this big ball of dirty wax. See, I even have some queen cells, protectors and stuff in there. I could clean that out, but I'm gonna make it so it's pretty raw and pretty dirty and just show you how clean you can get this. I'm gonna take this little wax melter. I'm gonna set this in here. I'm gonna let it melt as is. Then I will pull this out and strain the honey, or strain the wax through a coffee filter. And I'm gonna try it and just see how clean we can get this wax without using a lot of equipment. Just this little wax melter that I got off of Amazon. Or you could even use a crock pot and then just dump it. You know, the only difference between this and a crock pot is it's got that little valve. Basically, it's a crock pot. In fact, I have a big crock pot out in the garage that I used to use. But I'm just going to use this for the video's sake. I gotta get all this wax out of here first. See, I got another chunk in there melting right now. I'm gonna get it all cleaned out, and we will do a video on cleaning this wax that I've just stored in a bucket. This is a paint strainer, and yeah, we're gonna see how clean we can get it and what we can do with it and how much that will make. All right, so the goal is to turn this into this. I'm going to start the process. I can't get this out. I could chisel it out and make a big deal about it and try, but it's just all wax. I'm gonna leave it in there. But I'm going to start by taking this wax melter. I will turn it on. I'm gonna take this thing of wax here and just put it around. Hold on a second, videos. Just gonna do that. I'm going to put the lid on and I'm going to turn this thing on and we will clean it. You can see how dirty that is. So once this gets melted and it's all liquid, I will pick this filter out. That will filter 90% of it. And then I will run it through another filter out of this into something, and I'll filter it one more time, and then we should be able to have golden wax. So hopefully we can turn that into this. I want to show you the process. It's simple, it's easy. There's really not a lot to it. So let's start. I put it at about 150-ish. And that should do it. And then we'll come back in a little while and check that, and that should be melted. See, it's already starting to melt down there in the bottom. Just melt this all down into here. Get it all one big pot of melted wax. I threw a couple little chunks in there that were on the floor, so still pretty dirty, but it's amazing how quick we can clean this up. Yeah, now it's getting there. Really gooey and ooey. You don't have to mix it or do any of this. I'm just simply showing this for the video's sake. But you can just leave this as is and it will do it. Now I got a big old glob of wax on the end of that stick. Not too much longer and it'll be all melted. The slum gum, see it's already kind of sticking on the sides. But that's some dirty wax. Wasp sticks, bees. Yeah, it'll clean up nice though. All right, here we go. A lot of gum and slum here. Yeah, I think most of that's all garbage. Ooh, there's a lot in there. So, now what I'm gonna do, carefully one-handed with my phone, pick that up, let it drain. There's not as much wax as you would think out of this, but, and remember I had a little bit in the bottom of that already. But we'll just let that drain out. And once it's done, then we'll filter it one more time. We'll be good. Hi, Stella. But that's already pretty clean wax down there. This one filter does pretty good. I'm gonna let this little bit drain into one of these and show you how clean it is. Hopefully there's enough to fill that up. Probably not. I should have done this at the beginning, but I didn't. But this is still just right out of this bag, filtered. Might be enough to fill it up. So I've rolled this back and forth a little bit and been swapping it, trying to get as much as I can out of here. And I think I've got just about all of it. There's a little bit dripping here, but I'm not going to sit and waste my time trying to get every little bit of wax out of here because I don't necessarily need it. I'm just kind of doing this for video purposes. But that's one filtered, okay? I got one, I was able to fill up one little brick with it dripped. I will show you how clean that wax is after just being filtered once with this paint strainer. But we'll do it again with a coffee filter and you'll be amazed at how clean it is. And it's pretty simple. I mean, all I did was take that, put it in here, pull it up, let it drain out. Nothing to it. So now that that's done, this is all the slum gum that's in here. Let me set my phone down and I'll get a better video. See, you can tell that's pretty dirty. I mean, there might be some wax left in there, but most of that is just going to be junk. But that filters it pretty good. I don't see a whole, there is some wax left in there. Yeah, there is, but I'm not gonna. So you could let this heat longer, get it melted down a little bit more, let it strain a little longer. You know, you'd get more wax out of it, but that's good enough for what I'm needing and wanting to show here. But most of that's just the junk left. See, I filtered out my cell holders and yeah, it does it good. Does it well. Cleans it up pretty good. You can already see that drying. It's going to be a pretty clean wax, and that's pretty clean. I also got this little thing off of Amazon. It wasn't very expensive. There's another little pot over here, but it comes with this little tiny heating pad. You just plug it in, turn that on, set that on there, it'll melt. I mean, that thing can be full and it'll just slowly melt that. You can get a good little thing for wax and pouring. That's actually what I'm gonna do right here to filter this one more time. I'm gonna take a coffee filter, gonna place it on here. I'll get this put on with some clips I set my phone down and I'll get that done. I'm trying to do this one-handed. This is probably a bad idea. That is not filtering through as fast as I thought it would. I might have to get a different filter. I thought that would pour right through that. Or maybe I have two there. No, that's only one. But it is not dripping through that filter. Maybe the coffee filters is a bad idea. Okay, these coffee filters are a bad idea. They don't work very good. It did filter some, and that is extremely clean, but the problem was it was drying up too fast and it wasn't going through this. So I took this filter again, cut it, and now I'm gonna fold it in half a few times so it's, you know, filtering it 2 or 3 times, not just once. And then I'm gonna pour it through and see how that works. All right, let's try this. Yeah, that's filtering through lots better. So I'm gonna put my phone down so I don't spill anything and make sure I can watch this, but this is what I'm gonna do. Then we'll see how much it filters this time. Okay, I filtered it through this again. Filled this up. Whoa, some dripping on there. Wax makes a mess, that's for sure. Now we're just gonna go ahead and pour this in here. Look how clean that is. I'm gonna show you guys once this hardens. Simple, easy way to make wax and to render your wax. You don't need a lot of stuff. I mean, it is pure beeswax, no additives. Filtered twice here in my basement from dirty from that mess to this. Pretty good stuff. The wax is pretty fun. I'm gonna drain the rest of this back into here and I'll put it into that block, and then we'll have the blocks from what we made there. So this is at the bottom of this. This hasn't been cleaned for a while, so there is some slum in there. I'm gonna just pour it through that filter again right there on that and get a little bit out, but that's it. That's pretty much the process. Pretty clean, pretty simple, easy, quick. You can get this stuff or use a crock pot. Pretty cheap. You don't need anything big or fancy, and it works great. And that's it. These ones are already drying. I got that and these and this little tiny thing full from that bag of wax. And this was half a day's work. You know, the longest part is letting it melt, and it probably was melted a while ago, but I had to go to a football game, so came back and it was good, so we made the video. But I'm excited to show you how clean this wax is. I mean, you can tell it's clean. That's filtered twice, didn't do anything fancy. Love it. All right, we had this dirty muck, and now this was the first cube we poured. That's actually honey that's in there. That's not dirt or anything. That one's got a little bit of honey in it still. Let's check out some of these other. That's a pretty clean bar there. That's pretty clean bar. This little one was kind of the end of stuff. Yeah, see, that's got a little grime in it, but not much. I'll just melt that back in with the other wax, and let's see these big ones. Ooh, they're still a little warm. They might not be quite ready. those turned out clean. That one had a little bit of honey in it. They're still pretty hot. Yeah, that's really soft. That hasn't cured yet. It'll turn darker like this once it's done. But that is the process. Thanks for watching. Please share with your friends, subscribe, share to your Facebook, anywhere. Help get the video out. I know there's a lot of beekeepers that have wax, a lot of backyard beekeepers and stuff that don't know what to do with it. This is a super simple, easy process to do it. So subscribe, thumbs up, comment. Thanks for watching.